Section 13 of the Export and Import Act 1995, Act 503. The second reason provided by the Honorable Minister was that some of the selected products will be restricted to protect the local industries that produce such products. According to the Minister, Ghana is overly dependent on important products of which the local industry has the capacity to produce, and this is affecting grossly the confidence of investors who are willing to invest in these selected products. These regulations seek to limit the importation of the selected strategic products and provide a platform for local industries to produce, save, to meet the demands of the population and to compete favorably with their trading partners. Members of the committee made suggestions for amendments to the substantive clauses of the regulations generally. In respect of the affected products, it was decided that cement be deleted from the list of restricted imports and in its place diapers be inserted. The explanation provided was that cement industry is proposed to be comprehensively regulated under the draft cement industry, the one that I told you about. Furthermore, the ministry proposed that frozen cuts of offals be inserted as item 23 of the on the list. Frozen cuts, okay. Frozen cuts, okay. And then they have another one we call offals. And then he says that we explain that offals are categorized differently from item 2, which is the guts, bladders, and the stomach of animals. Good. Well, the committee, listen to this. The committee demanded that data be provided to it regarding the basis of the minister's justification for the restrictions on the basis that imports are having a negative impact on the country's balance of payments. At the end of the deliberation, the committee concluded that, subject to the proposed amendment, the minister could proceed with the laying of the instrument. And then we go to the other one, the cement regulations. It goes on, makes similar points, and then goes on to say that the minister gave examples of the recent development in the country whereby a number of cement manufacturing factories have had to be closed down as a result of evidence that they were producing and selling substandard cement. Members made numerous proposals for the amendments which were accepted by the ministry. At the end of the deliberations, the committee took the view that the draft regulations conformed to the powers granted to the minister under the Ghana Standards Authority Act and does not violate the Constitution and may be laid subject to the amendments. Conclusions generally. The committee had no reason to believe that the two draft regulations were not within the ambit of the parameters set under Article 11, Clause 7 of the Constitution and the Standard Orders of Parliament.
And your point is?
My point is this: it was on the strength of this that I proceeded to lay the document the day after.
But we've heard the minority leader say that they oppose.
That's what I call duplicity. This is the committee that I was compelled, contrary to the demands of the regulations, demands of the Constitution and the standard orders, to go before, to explain myself. And this is the report to the minority leadership. And then they come back to tell me that, well, they don't know about it and whatever.
This was on the 22nd of November.
This is the 22nd.
On Friday, yes. Was there another meeting where further proposals were made?
So following this, wasn't any other with the committee. The committee following this was done, expert, they done their work. So the leadership of the minority side, they kind of in a whispering conversation said that, well, I can't tell you everything. We are colleagues, you know, so a lot of things that you get upset when in the end of the day you think they're stabbing you in the back, and then you get.
Have you been stabbed in the back?
Well, I think so.
How?
I think. Well, I mean, you can understand from what I've just been speaking.
So the minority have stabbed you in the back?
Yes, particularly based on what I've just read to you. I mean, I wasn't going to go anywhere before any pre-laying committee, because I've made a point. It's not mandated by any constitution.
Subsequent
to this,
on Friday morning,
it was
I understand
agreed.
there was another meeting.
Yes. There wasn't a meeting with a committee.
Okay.
It was a meeting among the leadership.
The leadership.
Yeah, listen, my leader, Mr. Bonsu, took it up on himself to have a discussion with the minority leadership and a few of them. They called me behind the lobbies, the division, you know the division when we go through this. And what is it that we can do? What is it? Make proposition. What is it? I am bound to lay this thing. It's not a matter matter that I sat at my desk and then I produced this sort of list. If you read my documentation, you will see the road show. You would see the extent of consultation.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, sure.
So in these informal conversations, what concession did you make on Friday?
Whatever they wanted to include in there.
What did they
were
want?
not significant. Indeed, ultimately, the one that they said we should put in was that to make sure the constitutional thing we talked about, that there must be some recourse.
That the review comes to Parliament for a final decision.
No, it was this. I can phrase it for you. It was, firstly, it was put in some amorphous and cacophonous state that I didn't understand myself. So I helped. And I said, well, if you want a reference to the committee of Parliament, could it not be in this shape? That anyone who was aggrieved by the decision of the minister could then petition Parliament. That's what I suggested.
And will Parliament have the final decision if the Parliament takes a decision contrary to your decision? What happens?
Well, that is what it was suggested ultimately. That Parliament, I didn't quite understand that at this level. I mean, when the LI, the law, this decision regulation were made on the back of a substantive act that has been through Parliament. The minister could do A, B, C, D. The minister has prepared a document in which he has made a reference or made provisions for a redress in